understand why we can't just order out for lunch.
Well, there's a je ne sais quoi to eating someone else's handmade lunch. What are you at here? Ooh, what about this one?
Don't eat that one. That one's Kristen Holtz. We do not want another incident.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Ooh, there's a note. Okay, read this. Today on Attack of the Show, with the bar already set impossibly high, can Grand Theft Auto 4 revolutionize next-gen gaming?
I hope so.
Find out when we get in the loop. Plus, our gaming senses tingling because we have a live demo of the Spider-Man 3 game. You won't see this anywhere else.
Hey, Morgan, what's salad?
I'll tell you later. And buckle up, because we get behind the wheel with Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. And by reading this aloud, you have waived all rights and are contractually obligated to host a live Attack of the Show right now. Oh, crap.
What's going on here? Pick up on this.
Attack.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
How much did that cost you?
See, and I think also the important lesson we just learned, if you steal from others, you can host cable. All right, welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. I'm Adam Sessler.
He is. They must have been really expensive, and I'm Morgan Webb.
It's...
Thanks. I feel validated.
All right, $5 for you guys later. It's Thursday, April 5th, and we're coming to you from the G4 studios in Los Angeles. Now, Kevin and Olivia, they're out on assignment.
Hunting golden fleece. But they were kind enough to leave a legally binding document that forces us to take up their hosting duties for the entire day.
Which is really nice of them.
Wasn't it just?
Yeah. Today, Morgan and I are live, something we're not used to on Next Play, so watch out. Anything can happen. All bets are off. Call the FCC, call the FCC. And where's my whiskey?
I love Sessler
I
Unleashed.
need to drink.
But now it's time to pay tribute to our favorite bitch goddess.
She giveth and she taketh away. We're going around the net. First up, we have an interstitial which ran during children's programming in 1979. Hooray for Reading is its name, and its purpose was to get children interested in books, instead of lewds.
Now, each installment featured a brief reenactment of a popular novel for young adults. And if you wanted to find out what happened next, you were forced to get the book and find out.
It's fun to play soccer, so exciting. But I also like to read about the dangerous or exciting things that happen to other kids. You could find out what happens next by reading the TV Kid.
Seriously?
Well, yeah, because also, back when I was a kid, getting hurt by a snake made for compelling reading.
I didn't get much plot there, though. I just got a kid getting bit by a snake.
Yeah, but does he die? Does he get snake powers?
But I don't care.
I mean, actually, what would a snake power be? It would just be like
Slithering and spitting. Well, I can't think of a better way to get kids to read. Show a boy pursued by cops and attacked by snakes. It's the gateway to learning.
All right, next up, we've got the latest police takedown maneuver during apprehensions. Even the most feeble suspects can become powerhouses thanks to drugs or a good old-fashioned adrenaline rush.
So when dealing with a crazy knife-wielding man, Canadian cops took a page from the Auto Pursuit Handbook. Instead of shooting their perp, they decided to use the pit maneuver. Awesome.
The ragdoll physics in that are incredible. I think it's like the new Havoc engine. That's really impressive.
So you just want to shoot him in the crotch and see what happens.
Or just ram him a couple more times and see if it get that blood stuff. With that kind of success, expect this trick to be used for jaywalking offenses, noise complaints, littering violations, and for burning leaves without a permit.
And finally, I bet you thought we couldn't top the Canuck cops running down a suspect, did you? Oh, friends, you forget the internet has cats, didn't you?
Now, over at MetaCafe, they've got a gifted feline friend, gifted with a vocal cord deformity, that is. And apparently this deformity lets the little guy sing, kind of.
Oh, no way. No. Watch it. Okay, here we go. Please.
Better than Sanjaya.
Yes, but would India vote for the cat? That's the question there. But we need to move on. Goodbye, internets. You hardly knew these.
Sad. Go to g4tv.com/aroundthenet to sign up for the podcast so you can get more daily virals.
Right now, it's time for the only news you need to know. Here's Layla Kaylee and the feed headlines.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First, we'll tell you what cars were named the best of the year at the New York Auto Show. Plus, you'll find out all the details about the new Gears of War multiplayer update. And the RIAA is at war with music fans, and you won't believe why. It's all coming your way in the feed. But first, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Layla. Now, let's hear from you in the army of monitor heads with our video viewer mail.
Here's Adam from Kingston, Ontario.
Hey, do you really think that the 360 Guitar Hero is any better than PS2? I mean, I don't.
Wonder if he has a vocal deformity.
Yeah. He and the cat should, they should get the new game with the band, and he'll play with the cat.
I don't know, he's trying to hide his identity.
Maybe it's that.
Maybe he's embarrassed.
Or maybe he's a heavy smoker.
It could be. It could be.
Anyway, to the question.
Okay, yes.
Is it better? It's great because it's on the 360, so if you own a 360, it's good.
And if you don't own a PS2 already, which most people do.
Exactly.
But
it's
I
just
have
good
on
on
the
that
PS2.
too.
I was going to go out and buy it for my 360 if it had a wireless guitar.
Right.
Which it doesn't.
Right.
So now what's the point?
So, I mean, yes, it does have a few extra songs, but you'd have to be a very, very devoted fan of Guitar Hero to buy both copies. You're not missing out if you only have one and you don't have the other.
Yeah, it's not worth the extra $80 that it would cost
No, it's
you.
not.
Plus the Xbox 360.
That's true.
Yeah.
A week ago today, the first Grand Theft Auto 4 trailer was released by Rockstar, and everyone is still like a buzz. They're like,
huge. With GTA 4 running on the Rage game engine and the detailed cinematics of the trailer, some people are calling this release the next big step.
Others are calling it the next big thing.
That's amazing.
So
Totally
we want to
different.
know what you think with today's poll question. Will GTA 4 reinvent next-gen gaming?
Well, you can vote at our website, g4tv.com/AOTS, or you can text your vote to G4TXT, that's 44898, to vote and register for AOTS live news alerts.
All right, coming up, we're showing you the brand new PS3 game trailer for Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction.
Developed by Insomniac Games, it looks like Sony is pulling out all the stops for this one, so stay tuned for a sneak peek later in the show.
You can tell them we're going to handpick that one.
Love it.
We've got to take a short break right now, but don't worry. Like Douglas MacArthur, we shall return, hopefully with less bloodshed.
Stay with us. A live attack of the show is just beginning.
Here's what's coming up on today's Attack of the Show. We'll have you web-slinging in no time when we give you a sneak peek at Spider-Man 3 for the Xbox 360. Why is Grand Theft Auto 4 causing the mayor of New York to get up in arms? You'll only know if you're in the loop. And buckle your seatbelt, because we're burning rubber with Quentin Tarantino and the stars of Death Proof. All this and more when the attack comes back.
What is happening? Weeknights at 6:30 and 10:30, only on G4.
Welcome back to a live attack of the show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
And right now, the AOTS and XPlay forums are in another state of confusion. Everyone's like going boogie boogie. It's a cross between Identity Crisis and a Civil War, but kids, fight it out fair, all right? All right. I think now we're ready to tackle the biggest gaming stories that are hot off the presses, so stretch your fingers. It's time for a game break. All right, Morgan, you do this every week, so
I've
you know
blocked
the
it out.
drill. So you ready?
Okay,
Go.
I'll do my best. Thank you. Here are the big stories hitting the gaming world as we speak. So let's start things off with news regarding Metroid Prime 3 corruption for the Wii. Now, Newsweek's video game blog Level Up recently interviewed Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé and managed to get a few new details regarding the game's release date. Now, originally planned as an early 2007 release, Fils-Aimé has confirmed corruption will be available sometime after June. Apparently, fine-tuning the game to take full advantage of the Wiimote is proving to be quite a challenge, and Nintendo has no plans to release the game until the controls are perfect. Sounds like gamers who are hoping to get their hands on the game should pre-order now before the rush of this year's holiday season. And next, we're taking a look at whether or not the 120 gig hard drive for the Xbox 360 is too expensive. Gaming website and podcast creators Game Theory recently spoke with Microsoft's Aaron Greenberg, who defended the drive's $180 price tag. Quick to point out the plug-and-play features of the new drive, Aaron ensures everyone that they're getting their money's worth. 360 owners should start to consider how much content is actually being downloaded to their drives. If your 20 gig drive is full and you don't have any plans to pick up the Xbox 360 Elite, then shelling out the cash for that extra space might not be such a bad idea. And finally, we have some good news for those of you in the market for a new PSP. Now, in case you haven't heard, Sony has slashed $30 from the price of the PSP Core Pack. Website IGN is reporting the shiny handheld will now retail for $170 here in the US, and for good measure, they've added Daxter and Siphon Filter to their line of greatest hits. So both of these games will now retail for under $20. And then despite issues with overseas imports, most expected a price drop to happen first in Japan, but IGN has confirmed that Sony has no plans for a price drop in that region.
All right, so we're going to be showing off the new Ratchet and Clank trailer later on the show, but
the full
because
trailer.
we are such respected members of the video game writing about that stuff world, Morgan and I have already seen it.
Yes, okay.
Well, that's what it says in the prompter.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just going to believe my mom says it too. Anyway, do you think that Ratchet and Clank is a system seller for the PS3?
How many die? Pause, maybe. I mean, I went and I bought my PS3 and I walked out of the store like $700 in the hole. Would I pay that for Ratchet? Yes, because I can write it off, and yes, I already own one. I have to say, a lot of people, even if they love Ratchet, I don't think that they're going to shell out the money.
I know. I mean, one of the things where I said, okay, I do want a PS3 because Ratchet's on it. But then again, we're both in the unique position of we have an excuse for having all three gaming consoles out there. But nonetheless, I know the game's going to be awesome because Insomniac
the game's going to be awesome.
Solid.
I really enjoyed Resistance. You know, I'm hearing great things about Lair. I'm really excited about that game. Virtua
Lair
Fighter
might
5
even
great.
sell it a little bit more than Ratchet and Clank.
I think Lair might sell it a little more than Ratchet and Clank because it's got the dragon factor, it's got the nerd factor.
Exactly.
Ratchet and Clank fans tend not to be the most rabid fans.
Exactly.
Except for us,
the two of us. All right, well, that's it for Game Break. But the gaming never stops over on our website. And while you're there, be sure to check out the cheat sheet section, which has over 15,000 tips, tricks, and codes covering every platform since the Atari 2600. Just go to g4tv.com/cheats and get cheating.
Right now, I'm going to tell you how to get rich off the internet. And you won't even need to click on any Google ads. It's time to attack this. First up, go to ehow.com. Now, this site has tips on how to do just about anything, and that includes how to get rich and save your money. One of their simplest pieces of advice is to skip that expensive latte in the morning and put that money towards savings instead. But wait, if we do that, won't that keep all the people who sell $5 cups of steamed milk from getting rich? That would be wrong. Next up, check out ChrisGardnerMedia.com. Now, if you're looking for a rich role model, he's best known as the inspiration for the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. And he has that smug smile on his face for a reason. He went from being homeless to working as a stockbroker and became a millionaire. Then wrote a book about how he fulfilled the American dream. If Will Smith played you in a huge Hollywood movie, you'd probably be grinning too. Next, head over to GetRichSlow.com. This website breaks the bad news that you can't really get rich quick. Well, at least not legally. But they say it's very possible to increase your wealth significantly in just a few years and encourage you to set realistic goals. And this site tells you how to manage debt and even helps you weigh the pros and cons of going to college. And don't miss their advice about how to make your job work for you for a change. What, you're still not rich? Well, then check out theglobalrichlist.com. You'll probably find out then you're richer than you think. See, even if you only make $20,000 a year, you're in the top 11% of earners in the world. And more than 1 billion people on this planet get by on less than $1 a day. So you should feel pretty good about yourself. After all, you are one of the richest people in the world. And that's today's Attack This. Visit g4tv.com/AOTS for links to all these rich sites and more. We still have more ahead as we take the Attack of the Show ship out to international waters for old monkey business. Stay with us. We'll be back.
we're bringing you a first look at Spider-Man 3 when we demo it live on the Xbox 360. And it's like food for your brain. It's the feed.
And it's here at DeVry.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. We're live and about to do some test driving. Let's go over to Adam, who just got some new tires with custom chrome rims.
Yeah, for my segue. Thank you, Morgan. It's how I roll. Now, dust off those 360 controllers and refill your web slingers. Game designer Chris Archer is here to give us the inside scoop on the upcoming Xbox 360 title, Spider-Man 3. And, of course, we also have Chris's buddy Nevin right over there. He's me driving the game for us today while you and I chat about the game. I hear they're actually making a movie version of this game as well.
They are. They decided to make a movie based on the game.
And just for anybody out there who just might be worried that we're going to give away some great moments in the movie, we're not, obviously we're going to keep it clean of any spoilers or anything.
Not too many spoilers, no.
All right, so what can we expect from Spider-Man 3? Obviously, he's still there. How close is it to the movie?
It's actually pretty close this time around. We really start with this game before we get to the studio, and we get a bunch of different storylines together, and then we get laid on us this great piece of material that with the script and the characters and things like that. And what happens is we actually merge that. It's like a Christmas present, like we actually get something for free.
Look,
it's like
look,
these are great characters.
Looks good this time. We're excited now. So, what are some of the new abilities? Obviously, he has the black suit, and that brings some new powers with it. Like, what are some of the new tricks that we can look for from the game?
Well, black suit in particular is pretty cool new thing. We basically take the Spider-Man base and we recreated all of the moves and made them much more edgy and much more like the character in the movie. And when you see the movie, you'll actually see what I mean.
Now, obviously, what we're looking at here is very much a next-gen game. It has all the spit and polish. Is there, like, extra physics that are thrown in the game? What are some of the benefits that we can see in the next-gen aspect of it?
Well, the cool thing about working on next-gen stuff now is that we almost get the art for free. The tech actually supports all of these things, so we can actually focus as designers on what's really important, which is the gameplay. So we have new physics system. We have, all of the gameplay aspects that you'd expect from a next-generation game.
And obviously, some of the classic things that made Spider-Man 2 such an awesome game are back there, like the web swinging. Is it even more of a detailed recreation of New York City, or is it does it go to the outer boroughs even?
It's actually bigger than the last game. I don't know what we were thinking, but we actually made it bigger, and it gives Spider-Man this huge playground to play in. As far as the web slinging goes, we actually did do some changes to web slinging. Even though we thought it was pretty good in Spider-Man 2, we actually did some work with the camera to actually make you feel like you were floating around in space versus just the physics of the system.
Now, what are some type of the missions that you're going to be able to go on within the game?
There's just a huge variety of missions. We actually took a lot of time and effort to make sure that each mission was actually special. You're not going to do a lot of the same thing all the time. Each event is very, very unique. Everything from really complex story missions to nice little nuggets of gameplay. So we tried to bring it all to the table.
Now, in terms of the web slinging in the game, is it still as easy to get through it in terms of just shoot it attached to the building, or has it become a little bit more complex?
It hasn't, actually. We wanted to make sure that we had exactly the same sort of feel. It takes a little bit of time to master it, but we want people to get up to speed really quickly. I mean, Spider-Man is about swinging, so we wanted to make sure that happened right away. So as soon as you get right into the game, we actually show you. We did do some new stuff, but we show you really quickly and we get you right into the game.
And who voices the instructions at the beginning of the game?
Bruce Campbell,
Yay!
Of course, returns.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Okay, now I love the game even more. All right, well, let's just say that this is still an early look at the game. It's not coming out just yet, but it will be on the store shelves when the movie is released, correct?
Yeah, May 4th.
May 4th. Well, Chris, thank you very much. And Nevin, that is some awesome game playing that you did right over there. I hope that, wasn't too difficult for you. All right, as we just said, Spider-Man 3 is scheduled to hit the store shelves May 4th. Now, right now, let's sling things back to Miss Morgan Webb.
Thanks, Adam. Now batten down the hatches. A Category 4 storm of info and entertainment is about to hit when a live Attack of the Show continues. So stay with us.
Today on WrestleMania, we have a Hulk Hogan in training. What happens next? Does he perform a sleeper upside down face lock? A top rope front flip? or a suplex belly-to-back chicken wing? Tune in after the break to find out the results.
600 years before Christopher Columbus.
G-Force totally like that. Kind of.
This guy's got some smooth moves on the top rope. What happens next? Does he perform a sleeper upside-down face lock, a top rope front flip, or a suplex belly-to-back chicken wing? Undertaker, add this new move to the books. He performs a top rope front flip and takes out everyone, including himself.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are live and have not properly trained for a full hour of work. At
Absolutely
minute 31,
not.
yeah, our legs are just going to give out and we all wobbly.
So coming up later, we have the new trailer for Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction. After you see this, you might consider getting a PS3. That is, you know, when the price drops and 3 other great games come out.
But right now, it's time for the only news you need to know in the feed.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you. I'm Layla Kaylee, and it's time to start the feed. The New York Auto Show has just announced its 2007 World Car of the Year Awards. The recently redesigned Audi TT was given the Best Award for Best Design of the Year. The company also snagged another accolade for its RS4, which was named the World Performance Car. The Mercedes-Benz E320 Blue Tech was named the World Green Car, and the big win came from Lexus. Their LS460 was named the World Car of the Year. Sadly, it's 2007 and we're still waiting for a flying car. If only we could go back to the future. A trigger-happy employee accidentally leaked info about the long-awaited Gears of War update, and here are all the details. On the game's official website, it was revealed that on April 9th, a free update would hit Xbox Live. The download would fix glitches, offer more customizable options for multiplayer, plus give players a whole new game mode called Annex. Your goal is to occupy multiple locations in a King of the Hill type of scenario, and respawns will be included. However, Epic Games has stated that the download will not be available on the 9th. Hopefully, it will be ready soon. If you've been wondering why Duck Hunt and Hogan's Alley haven't been on the Wii's Virtual Console yet, there might be an answer. At last year's E3, Nintendo showed off an attachment for the Wiimote, which would turn the controller into a gun. It hasn't been seen since. And then, without notice, GameStop added a listing for a Wii Blaster on its site. The device will cost $20 and should be available May 1st. There is speculation that this peripheral will be used with the rumored Resident Evil 4 port, as well as the Umbrella Chronicles rail shooter. But remember, just because there's a listing, it doesn't mean it's official yet. The Peabody Awards recognize the best in electronic media, and they've just announced the latest winners. NBC was a big winner, and 3 of its primetime shows were singled out. Scrubs was given an award for its Wizard of Oz parody, The Office was recognized as a series for its continued success, and Friday Night Lights was praised for being grounded in American reality. But like the Emmys, HBO dominated and took home a total of 5 awards. And finally, the RIAA is at war over music piracy, even despite the artist's wishes. 9 Inch Nails' new album is on the horizon, and they've taken some unconventional methods to promote it. There have been hidden messages on t-shirts, secret websites, and even leaked tracks. Songs have been copied onto USB drives and left in bathrooms at 9 Inch Nails concerts. When this was discovered, fans swapped the songs, and numerous websites shared them as well. The RIAA responded by sending out cease and desist notices. Sources say Trent Reznor approved the leaks himself, and this is a huge misunderstanding. Let's hope so. Well, that's it for today, but don't worry, the feed doesn't stop here. Stay tuned to G4 all day and look for the feed ticker at the bottom of your screen. We'll have all the news you need to know as it happens. I'm Layla Kaylee, and you've just been fed. Let's go back to the beautiful Morgan and Adam.
Thank you, Layla. Now,
You got an and Adam.
Yes, and Adam, too. There's some adjective for him, but I forget what it is. He's alive. That must be it.
Should be glad she didn't pick one.
Now, we've been showing off your buddy system submissions all week, so why should today be any different?
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Here's the latest batch of greedy viewers vying for that video iPod.
Here's Jovany from Riverside, California, who, for some reason, needs to take his shirt off to flaunt his love for AOTS.
All right, next, we have James from San Diego. He's showing a highlight of Attack of the Show to his wife for the first time.
Aww.
James, yes, look at that. James says he tried to hang a candy bar from his belt in imitation, but his wife ignored him.
Smart woman.
I know the feeling.
And next we have video viewer mail. Regular Matt from North Carolina representing old school by introducing his buddy Brendan to the show.
All right, next up is John from Sun City. Isn't that a retirement community? Anyway, John from Sun City, California, who tried to introduce AOTS to his psycho friend. Now, John says not to worry about him. The ensuing stabbing did not result in a hospital visit. I love minor stabbings.
Oh. And finally, we have Robert from El Paso, Texas, who says he highly recommends this position when introducing Attack of the Show to newcomers. For God's sake, it's a TV show, not prison.
Well, that's not entirely true. As soon as you start working here,
Yeah.
you know, it's a little like being incarcerated.
Yes.
I don't know. You need to join up with the gang. Otherwise, you get passed around like a joint at a Fish concert. I should know.
Yeah, you should know. So that's why all of our interns have had their spirits broken, I guess. But stay right there. We have lots more ahead on TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
Is Grand Theft Auto 4 all hype, or will we be humbled by Rockstar's latest creation? The Loop takes aim. And we're getting behind the wheel and going for a ride with Kurt Russell and the cast of Death Proof.
The Feed is brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
Starting at 7, right here on G4.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show. We are live and talking Grand Theft Auto. Now, earlier in the show, we asked you, will GTA 4 reinvent next-gen gaming? Well, according to the text message counting digital prostitutes on the G4 street corner, it was a tight race with 51% of you thinking GTA will not reinvent next-gen gaming. So let's go over to my accomplice, Adam Sessler.
Play it cool, Morgan. The cops don't have nothing on us. They have nothing on you. All right, they don't have much on both of us. Now, the highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto 4 is just months away, but some folks are already complaining. Grand Theft Auto is one of gaming's most controversial, innovative, and successful franchises of all time. With close to a dozen sequels and spin-offs, the GTA series has sold more than 50 million copies and made billions for developer Rockstar Games. On October 16th, Rockstar hopes to strike gold again with Grand Theft Auto 4. The trailer released last week gave few details on actual gameplay, but has already sparked controversy. Like the games before it, GTA 4 features realistic landmarks of its city, in this case, modeled on New York. It should come as no surprise then that both the mayor and the police commissioner of New York City have already denounced the game. It's safe to assume they won't be the last to criticize. Is New York simply overreacting, and will Rockstar reinvent next-gen gaming with GTA 4? Life is complicated. It's The Loop. All right, my guest tonight from San Francisco, Electronic Gaming Monthly Editor, Crispin Boyer, and from Denver, Kotaku.com editor, Brian Crescente. Welcome to the both of you. Well, okay, we do know that GTA and controversy go together like beans and flatulence, but, I mean, is it being kind of unfairly singled out? There are a lot of games out there, say like Narc, where cops are playing the bad guys. Crispin?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know why Mayor Bloomberg didn't raise a stink about, like, true crime streets of New York or even, you know, The Godfather. Those games are set in New York, and they're, you know, they have a similar play style. I noticed too that whenever he was like denouncing the game, that he also hyped that crime was down since he took over office. So I think there's a little bit of grandstanding going on here too, and Grand Theft Auto grabs headlines.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Giuliani running for president, it's probably only going to get worse. Now, Brian, I think the thing that's very interesting about the trailer is that, okay, they're calling it Liberty City, we believe they're going to be, but that sure looks like New York City. Do you think that they're going to be comfortable allowing us to really cause some mayhem on the streets? You know, say, like, take a car and drive through the glass window at the Apple store?
Well, I mean, first, let me just say something about your last point. It sort of annoys me when I hear stuff like this. You can watch Law & Order several times a night, I think, and see crime in New York City, and you've never heard Bloomberg say a word about that. And, of course, there's tons of movies that do that. So for him to suddenly get on a high horse about video games is a little off-putting, I think.
But plus, I hear there's actual crime in New York as well.
Yeah, apparently there's a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think that Liberty City is looking more like New York, but I think also they're still not going to try to model it exactly. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to want to take liberties with what they're doing in the game, and sure, they want to make it look like a city that everybody's familiar with, but why not, do what you want to do with the game when you design it so it works better in a game than in real life.
Now, one of the things that has struck me is that obviously the trailer made it look very, very good, far more realistic graphics. And I've asked myself, would I really want to commit the same level of mayhem that I have in obviously the older, kind of uglier renderware versions of GTA with pedestrians and physics, looking so much more realistic? Brian, do you think you're going to have any hang-ups with that?
No, not at all. No, just kidding. No, I mean, it looks beautiful. I mean, that's the first thing, of course, you notice with the trailer. Unfortunately, it's the only thing you notice with the trailer. And that doesn't mean that Grand Theft Auto 4 is not going to have more to offer. But that trailer really doesn't give you a sense on whether or not there's going to be a really deep plot, whether there's going to be any sort of paradigm shift in gaming. I mean, I suspect that this Grand Theft Auto is going to be just like Grand Theft Auto 3, but prettier, different plot, and maybe when we see Grand Theft Auto 5, if that comes, that will be the time we see some huge shifts in the way the game plays.
And Crispin, I mean, does the level of realism that obviously, the next-gen consoles and obviously the engine that they're using that it brings to the game, is that going to give you a little bit of pause if the game offers the same level of kind of violent mayhem as in the previous ones?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, everyone who's played the past Grand Theft Autos, they're a lot of fun and they're, this big sandbox, but the problem is they're just kind of ugly. Like you're saying, it's renderware. So, yeah, I'm actually really excited to play the game in this, beautiful world. And I also think that, you got to figure the game's going to look, several times better, maybe 3 times better. It's going to take them, longer to create the art assets. So I figure the world itself is going to be probably much smaller than in San Andreas, which the world in that game was frankly a little bit too big.
Yes, it was, and traffic was terrible, as it really is in LA. But now, we all know that Grand Theft Auto 3 really kind of brought a brand new game to the forefront, kind of like the sandbox game, the anarchy game, the open-ended game. By the time we got to San Andreas, obviously, it was less exciting. We'd seen it before. It was a very good game, but it didn't have that same fresh quality. Have you guys thought about what is the elements that we need to sort of see with Grand Theft Auto 4 that would make us sit up and go like, oh, wow, they really did break some ground? Where are the limits with their style of gameplay, Crispin?
Well, I mean, I'm sure like most people, I'm hoping that this game will actually, you can play it online. I mean, games like Crackdown for the 360 were really fun to play with a friend co-op, so, it seems kind of an obvious inclusion, but you never know with Rockstar. They might be waiting and just focusing on the visuals this time. So I'm hoping that it has online, and I hope also that, that maybe some of the role-playing elements from the last game will be fleshed out a bit more, stuff like that.
And Brian, we just heard from Crispin about hopefully an online component. I've always wondered, what do you do if you really do open up Grand Theft Auto Online? Have you given that any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think multiplayer is very important, but the thing I'm most psyched about, and one of the concrete things we know about, is that there's going to be, I believe, episodic content. And to me, what that could mean, and they haven't said this, but with the 360 perhaps, and hopefully with the PS3, they could perhaps, after they roll out the game, start rolling out chapters, and actually, for the first time, I think ever, really deliver episodic content in a AAA title. And I would love to see that happen.
Yes, an excellent point. I got to say, this is going to be one of the most fun parlor games we can play up until its release in October. Crispin, Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Since Rockstar isn't releasing any hard details on GTA 4 yet, and because the trailer didn't show any gameplay, it's hard to know what this game is going to be like. But based on Rockstar's track record, it's probably going to be extremely polished. It's probably going to get parents and politicians all whipped up into a frenzy, and it's probably going to sell 10 million copies.
We'll be back right after this. We think you're mature enough to handle it, but don't let us down.
Strap in and hang on for your life, because we're crashing into Rosario Dawson and the stars of Death Proof.
And don't forget to text your choice to 77888. guys think Spore is actually going to make it out anytime in 2007, or is this project even a little too ambitious for Will Wright?
Is he wearing a headband or did he hurt himself?
I think, well, it could be both. Sometimes when I hurt myself, I like to wear a band. They're like, look how athletic Adam is. I'm like, no, I'm wounded.
Okay, don't doubt Will Wright.
Yeah.
Will Wright is a god. And if Will Wright says this is going to be amazing, then it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, Spore, I'm really excited for this game. Now, I don't care if it comes out this year because there's already too many games that are going to be coming out this year, so he can push it on into 2008. I think the trick with him is that everyone loves it at first, and some people, they're better conditioned to play it forever.
Right.
Like The Sims.
Right. Exactly. I'm very excited. But keep those questions coming our way because on Friday, May 4th, you know what? We're going to be airing a 1-hour special episode of X-Play.
It's our X-Play Summer Games preview. Now, we need to know what games you want us to cover.
So vote in our poll to help us pick which games to preview and ask us questions about your most anticipated games.
Or, you know, if you want to get us all moving image on us, you can send us one of those video viewer mails.
Yeah, don't fail us. We need you.
Yes, we can do that without your help.
And we can't do it without their help.
No, we can fail without their help.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, right. I got it.
I'm doing
Visit
it right
g4tv.com/xplay for more information.
So I'm told we're TV's only source for all the stuff that you care about here on the Attack of the Show.
I've heard that. What about our show?
That's the stuff that has some stuff you care about.
Okay. Well, you know what? I hear we're also live.
We are right now?
Mm-hmm.
No, really?
So don't mess up. But right now, we are getting our blood spatter aprons on because Attack of the Show's Blair Butler is here to talk Grindhouse.
Hey guys, Death Proof is the bloody, fiery, high-speed second half of Grindhouse. Now I met up with Quentin Tarantino and the rest of the cast and crew to talk crash safety ratings.
This car is 100% death proof. Only to get the benefit of it, honey, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
Tarantino is back and pushing the pedal to the metal in part 2 of the Grindhouse double feature, Death Proof, a film about a stuntman who uses his car to turn women into roadkill.
You guys go out, your friends, you're kind of out on the town, and then all hell breaks loose. Tell me a little bit about where things go awry.
Just straight from the beginning. I mean, this guy's been following us. He has pictures of us in different outfits, so he's been, like, kind of on it.
There are few things as fetching as a bruised ego on a beautiful angel.
Is that cowboy wisdom?
I'm not a cowboy, Pam. I'm a stuntman.
It is fun to play the bad guy who's just a psycho killer. But in this case, the guy used his car in a Grindhouse movie. I didn't want to miss that.
You're gonna have to start getting scared immediately.
This movie does have the slasher film structure, yet then it just segues, I think quite organically, but yet weirdly, right into a high-octane car chase picture. That's like comes again right out of the drive-ins of the 70s.
It turns into Bullet. It's great. Now, what was it like filming those car chases? Because I heard you used very little CG.
Oh, we didn't no CG. The cars are always going 70, 80, 90, or 100. And by the way, if the camera's in front of the car and it's going 100, that means we're going 110.
So I gotta ask right off the bat, what's it like working with Tarantino?
He puts every single inch of his body into it. When you're watching him and he's literally going and not breathing in between takes because he doesn't want to mess anything up, he's not regurgitating, he's not just making an homage, he filters it through some incredible talent and gives us something genius every time.
This is a true love letter for him. He and Robert both wanted to make something that was that just comes from the heart. They just love these movies.
It's a love letter written in blood, really.
Yeah, it's a love letter written in blood and torn steel.
So if you're looking for some action, grab your date and take the fast lane to the Grindhouse.
Nice. All right, now I want to know what the best part of those movies were.
It's definitely the fake trailers. The Edgar Wright fake trailer is hilarious, and then the Eli Roth one is all over the internet, but it's one of those total, like, sort of misogynistic, awful holiday-themed slasher films, and it's a really funny trailer.
Nice.
It's good stuff. Yeah. Now, Grindhouse comes out this Friday, and it's basically 2 movies and a bunch of great fake trailers for the price of 1 film. Very cost-effective.
Thanks, Blair. So is Kurt Russell finally back to his old badass self?
Yes. But you have to see the movie to get the whole truth.
All right, back to Adam.
All right. I like how you said misogyny and brutality, and it's a lot of fun, too.
Absolutely.
You gotta have a sense of humor about that kind of thing.
All right, still coming up, we're going to have the brand new trailer for Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction, not Destruction. That's next on TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
We're live, really? If you haven't been watching Attack of the Show, This is what you're missing. For more info, go to g4tv.com/AOTS.
Attention all gamers. X-Play is now interactive and in prime.
G4.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
We are live and still scouting out bassists for our rock band team, so get your audition tapes in soon.
Now, coming up tomorrow on an all-new Attack of the Show, tech expert Will O'Neill proves smaller is bigger with an ultra-portable Vista laptop and AOTS hardware.
Interesting. Plus, it's all the tastiest parts of reality TV, you know, with none of the fat. We call it Reality Bites. And we'll show off some great desktop widgets, YouTube players, baseball stats, and more in another round of web tools.
Now, we've had a pretty good time here hosting Attack of the Show today, but tomorrow is the last day in this glorious week of the guest hosts.
Yes, Kevin and Olivia will return next week, thank God. But tomorrow, back by popular demand, will be Zach Selwyn and Layla Cayley.
So while we retreat back to the comfort of the X-Play stage, mainly the globe.
Relative comfort.
Yes. Well, you know, the globe, it's a smoker for us, too. We have meats in there. It tastes very good.
Yes.
So anyway, Morgan, now that you've gotten that whole bug of doing the live television, I'm under the impression that you're actually doing more tomorrow.
That is correct. It's funny that you should bring that up. I'm in stage 3 again tomorrow, which means I'm hosting an all-new live free stuff at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. We'll be giving away for free an HDTV, an Xbox 360, an Apple TV, and more. So tune in. Head on over to g4tv.com/free stuff and try to win some free stuff.
You know, I actually could use a new HDTV.
You're so not eligible.
That's poopy. Why
Sorry.
not?
Okay.
All right, and finally, we've got the brand new trailer for Insomniac's Ratchet and Clank Future Weapons of Destruction for the PS3.
It showcases the game's frantic 3D platforming and sense of humor, and it's still got that new trailer smell. So let's take a look.
Greetings, cadets! Insomniac Games has asked me, Captain Quark, to talk about their next big game for the PlayStation 3. Thanks to the PS3's Blu-ray and cell processor thingamajiggy, you'll get to see me, Captain Quark, in mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, high-definition detail. Oh yeah, and there'll be some furry guy with his little robot pal. If only we had some footage to show you.
Captain Quark, we have the trailer right here. Whenever our galaxy is threatened, 2 heroes rise to the challenge. 2 heroes stand up to the forces of evil. 2 heroes can always be counted on to throw a wrench in the works.
Awesome. Okay, X-Play's next. You're going to see us again.
Bye.
It's going to happen now.
Today on X-Play.
Hello.